Hello all, let us continue our discussion on the operational amplifiers. So basically we have talked about the operational amplifiers a bit in the last videos. So let us see here how a AC equivalent circuit of op amp would be represented. So we have discussed previously that the op amp will have a input impedance and then output impedance. So basically you can see here the input impedance is represented by Ri, whereas the output impedance is represented by R naught, and the output is seen here as V naught. Now here the input is applied to terminals V1 and V2, and the op amp considers the difference between these two terminals as VID. Now this VID will be multiplied by the gain of the operational amplifier. So that is what acts as a source to supply the output load that is connected to the op amp. So you can see here the gain into the VID is represented as a power supply here, and this would be supplying the output through the output resistance of the operational amplifier. So this is how a AC equivalent circuit of op amp looks like. It's very simple. It's just a representation of how the voltages would flow and what are the resistances associated. Now one has to remember that this input impedance is very high. Ideally it is infinite for a ideal operational amplifier, but it would be around 2 to 3 megohms or 4 megohms, like kind of resistance, where you can see as per the voltage applied, the the current is very minimal. Now coming to the output impedance side, the output resistance is typically in the range of ohms, which is less than 100 ohms. So this is how the impedance of op amp looks like. In the discussion, let us see what is virtual ground in op amp. So if you see here, this is one of the op amp configuration. We'll discuss about this configuration later, but if you see here, one of the terminal is grounded. Now when this terminal is grounded, the other terminal also tries to see the same ground. So that means even though you have not connected this terminal to the ground, the op amp behaves as if there is a virtual ground there. So that is why we mean it virtual ground, because in reality it has not been connected to the ground, but there is a virtual ground that is connected. So this is what virtual ground means in op amp. Now this is a simple snapshot from the 741 op amp. We have said that the input impedance of or the input resistance of the op amp is very high in megohms. You can see here it is represented and the typical value of 2 megohms, so it can go to maximum more than that as well. Whereas the output impedance generally is represented by data sheets in the form of waveforms, or some of the designers, if it not represented, would consider a maximum value of 100 ohms. Now moving further, let us talk about the different configurations in which an operational amplifier can be connected. So one of the configuration is the inverting operational amplifier configuration, where the non-inverting terminal would be grounded and the inverting terminal would be connected with a input through a resistor Ri. There will be a feedback resistor from the output to the inverting terminal of the op amp. So this is how a inverting terminal looks like. For a inverting terminal, one has to understand that the output would be 180 degrees out of phase with respect to the input. So that means if you give 1 volt here, example, you can get minus 2 volts here. So that means this will be a opposite polarity of the input. So that's why if you see, the gain of the op amp is represented by AV is equal to minus RF by R1. RF is nothing but the feedback resistor, and Ri is nothing but the input resistor. So for a given inverting op amp configuration, the gain is nothing but the ratio of RF by Ri. Now the output is given by this gain multiplied by the input. So that is what we represent here. So this is how a inverting op amp description looks like. Now one thing is that definitely based on this RF and Ri, the feedback resistor and the input resistor, the accuracy of the output will vary, because if the resistors you use have a very varied tolerance rather than strict tolerance, like for example if you take 20% or more than that, then definitely the resistor will vary over temperature, and also internally the op amp characteristics will vary. So over a different temperatures, the output will vary. So the accuracy of the output at different temperatures depends on how good the tolerant resistors you use, and what are the measures you take with respect to the temperature. Now a basic question from the designer comes, where what will we are saying again, I will use huge resistor, feedback resistor, and can I get a huge voltage output? So this is one of the basic doubt designers has, but we can say that the output voltage is limited by the power supply voltage you give to the op amp or the bias you provide to the op amp. So the maximum voltage the output can reach, or the minimum voltage the op amp can reach, depends on the power supply that is provided to the operational amplifier. So this is about a brief of inverting operational amplifier configuration. We will talk about non-inverting amplifier configuration. So basically the difference between the non-inverting amplifier and the inverting amplifier is that here you provide input to the non-inverting terminal rather than inverting terminal, and the resistor input, where for inverting terminal the input was provided, it would be grounded, whereas the feedback from the output will be to the inverting terminal only. So this is how a non-inverting op amp configuration looks like, and one has to remember that in inverting terminal there is an inverted output, whereas in non-inverting terminal you don't have such inverted output. The output will be in phase with the input, and the gain is decided by 1 plus R1 by R2, where R1 is the feedback resistor, R2 is the resistor to ground on the inverting terminal, and as we discussed initially, V out is given by the product of this gain and the input. Similar to inverting terminal, the gain as well as accuracy of the output is dependent on the resistor used, or variation of resistors with temperature and the temperature basically, whereas the output voltage as said in the inverting amplifier would be restricted based on the bias that is applied to the operational amplifier. So this is a basic view of two different basic configurations used with op amp. Now one has to remember that inverting operational amplifier is the most preferred configuration because of its higher frequency stability. So this we will see why it is the preferred configuration. Let us now restrict our discussion to the basic differences, and remember that inverting configuration is the preferred when you go for a frequency stability. Thanks for watching. Please mention your comments, subscribe to our channel, and let us know if you want to know any other different topics. Thanks for watching. Thank you.